Yo, yo, welcome into the Hippies and Cowboys podcast, bringing you the best of the country music world like nobody else will tell it. My name is Garrett McKee. I am one of your hosts. Our co-host, Mike Hart, will also be on this podcast as well. But you just got me for the intro this time. We are brought to you by Workman's Relief CBD. Go to workmansrelief.com, fill up your carts, and use our promo code HACCBD for 15% off your entire order. The best, most affordable CBD products on the market. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Bit of a change of pace with this podcast here today, and just before you even get into listening to it, I will apologize for the audio quality on this one. We were running all of the sound. We were running all the sound into my recorder off of the main stage at Master Musicians Festival here about a month ago in Somerset, Kentucky. And we were on stage with the Wooks. And I don't know what exactly happened. Everything sounded good in the headphones and everything seemed to be recording fine. But Mike and I, you'll notice, like, you can only hear us from what's coming through out loud going into the field. So we are obviously much quieter, and you can kind of hear that echo a little bit than the rest of the guys. All the guys who are in the Wooks sound great. So that's good. I mean, they're the important ones. Those are the ones you want to hear talk anyways. But we did this podcast on the main stage, like I said. We did it that morning ahead of their John Prine tribute set that night on the Friday night of Master Musicians Festival, which was absolutely unreal. But we figured we'd release this one so all of you who weren't able to attend the festival, or even if you were and you happened to miss it, you could listen to what these guys had to say. So Mike and I would like to thank everyone at Master Musicians Festival for welcoming us with open arms and just rolling out the red carpet, it seemed like, for us. We really appreciated it, and we definitely did not deserve all of that hospitality, but thanks so much nonetheless to all of them. Thank you to the Wooks for coming up on the stage and doing this podcast with us. It was a lot of fun, really cool to have, a few people in the audience watching, and yeah, it was an interesting atmosphere. Looking forward to doing more like this. But anyways, let's just dive right into it, everybody. This is our podcast with the Wooks, live from Master Musicians Festival. Enjoy. All right, we are live at Master Musicians Festival in Somerset, Kentucky with the Wooks. Thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit, you guys.
Thanks for having us, man.
Calling all you Wookiees.
Yeah.
Time to get down.
Time to get down. Time to get in here, people.
But yeah, thanks for sitting down with us, and thanks to Master Musicians Fest for letting us take the main stage here as people are coming in, enduring the rain a little bit. But I see blue skies over there, so.
I don't feel worthy of sitting on the main stage, I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I guess probably for everybody listening to the audio version of this, and if anybody's out there listening to what we're doing right now, we should just go down the line and you guys can introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you play, and where you're from.
My name is CJ Kane. I play the guitar. I'm from Lexington, Kentucky. Yeah.
And my name is Harry Clark. I play mandolin, and I'm from Floyd, Arkansas.
Ooh.
I'm George Guthrie, and I play the banjo, and I'm from Connecticut.
I'm Alan Cook. I play the dobro, and I'm from Boulder, Colorado.
Wow, so you guys are from all different, all over the place.
Yeah.
Covering some ground.
Covered some ground, that's right. Is this your guys' first time at Master Musicians Festival?
I've been here. The band has played Masters Musicians Festival, and I've also attended as a fan growing up. I'm from Kentucky, so this is one of the finest festivals that Kentucky's had for a very long time. What about you guys?
I've only been here once 2 years ago, and it was just to watch John Prine, but it was really awesome.
Yeah, they Tiffany was showing us their John Prine portrait from that year,
Yeah.
2 years ago. That's pretty incredible.
Top 5
My first time.
shows.
Yeah.
First time.
Yeah, my first time as well.
All right.
You guys are all going to have to answer.
Yeah.
Just jump in whenever. Just interrupt us.
That's all right.
So yeah, we haven't actually got new music from the Wooks since 2018. Glory Bound came out. What have you guys been up to lately? I know there's been some like turnover within the band, so I don't know if you guys just want to tell us what's been going on.
I mean, we were eavesdropping on the sound check, and some of those were unfamiliar to me, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping for some good
We're
news.
pretty well
here.
read with.
Well,
And
unlike.
so are all of my coworkers because I play.
Oh wow, that's awesome, man. So, unlike musician stereotypes, we tried to use our time off in 2020 wisely. We took up enough original material between the three of us here and put an album together. It's in the can, it's mixed, mastered, and we're just kind of trying to put the whole thing behind that together to get it out. That's kind of still, we don't have a release date, but our part is done.
Yeah.
And we added over that time really a childhood friend. Me and Alan grew up together going to a festival called Rocky Grass in Lyons, Colorado. My dad and his dad are like homies from way back, and we have played together in jams, and whenever the band was in Colorado, Alan would get in the van and go with us, but he didn't officially join the band. He moved east of the Mississippi for the first time over the pandemic, and we've got him out here now and got added a dobro. I've never been in a band with a dobro, so
Yeah, it sounds good too, man. That's cool.
there's only like 22 of them in the world, so
It's a small community, but yeah, we're quite enthusiastic.
I was curious how everybody got to know each other from being from so far away, but it
yeah,
kind of explains
people
it.
ask that all the time,
Yeah.
and Harry can attest. Harry grew up in the bluegrass community like I did, like kind of cutting our teeth in traditional bluegrass. And the deal is you go to festivals, and you're really kind of aware of like everyone that's out there. If you hang out in the parking lot and the campgrounds, and you jam and you hang out, play in bands, and it's a tight knit community. So when you need someone to play music with, you kind of know who to call.
Yeah. For those people just coming in, because we got more people coming in, and this might sound weird to the people listening to the recorded podcast, we are the Hippies and Cowboys podcast, and we're sitting down with the Wooks. You will get to enjoy 2 sets from them tonight. So, yeah.
There they are. 5 or 6 people here already.
And we can get to, the reason there's 2 sets, we got the regular Wook set, and then after that, we will get to hear a John Prine tribute set, which is going to be a very special moment. And I hear some
all right.
whoops out in the crowd. I don't know if the mics will pick that up, but thousands of people are cheering.
The crowd
Maybe
is going
hundreds of thousands.
insane right now.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, someone just flashed us. Oh, man, this is a family event.
Yeah, man. So kind of like what we were talking about earlier, like just I guess to get into some of the John Prine stuff. You guys, like you kind of mentioned it earlier. Everybody around here, specifically in Kentucky, it seems like his music has made connected with so many people. Like even people young enough like
Right.
Mike and I, and all the way up to the oldest people who even are going to be attending this festival today. So everybody feels really connected to his music, and kind of. I just wanted to know, I guess we were talking to John R. Miller on a podcast
Right.
about a month ago, and he said the first time he heard John Prine, it was kind of like, he described it as like a magic trick. So I guess my question to you guys, if you guys all want to answer, is when was the first time, do you remember the first time hearing John Prine's music? And going off that, kind of how has his music
affected your development and your playing over the years?
Yeah, why is it special to you?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's unique to everybody who hears it. You know?
Well, for me, I can't really remember the first time I heard John Prine because my dad was such a major fan of John and like saw tons of shows that like it was on the record player from the time I was just an infant. But like, so when I would hear his music as I got to be a more serious musician, it was like I'd already heard it, but I was like hearing it again from a perspective of like trying to learn it. But I think, simply put, John's had a huge impact on Kentucky. He kind of grew up coming here in the summers with his grandparents, and so people here just love him. And I think for me, there's two things that make him. There's a million things that make him special and unique as a songwriter, but he's my favorite because, like, he can make you think and laugh simultaneously in a song, and usually a song is doing one or the other, and he was great at saying something that made you like rethink the way you see the world, but also laugh so that you're not like kind of bummed out about whatever he's trying to teach you. And then, the other thing is, no matter what kind of day you're having, if it's a good day or a bad day, like whatever it is, if you put his music on, it's going to get better. It's just like, if I'm having a bad day, I put John on like every time.
What's your go-to song of John's?
I don't really have a go-to song because like there's every single one of them is good. Like there's not one song that I skip of his, but Bruised Orange is like the epicenter of like what John's all about to me, like that album.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so I guess the first time I heard John Prine was probably when I was probably like 12 or 13. I met this guy in our hometown. He was kind of like the first hippie musician I ever met. He was kind of into bluegrass, but also was like the first guy who introduced me to the Grateful Dead and like Fish and all that stuff. And he also, as a kid, he burned me a copy of the John Prine album. Is it just the self-titled album with him sitting on the hay bales and stuff, Angel from Montgomery and all that? And I listened to it, and there's some great songs on there. And he would like, at jams, he would sing like Grandpa Was a Carpenter, which is one of the songs we're going to be doing tonight, actually.
Oh, awesome.
And it just registered with me. It kind of had a bluegrass feel, but it was written a little bit differently, and so it kind of stuck in my crawl. And from then on, I felt like I just hear John Prine, like, kind of throughout my life, And like, That's the Way the World Goes Round is another song that I just got turned on to. And little by little, I just get like turned on a song at a time to him until finally, when we saw him live here at Masters Musician, that was right as his new album and the last album had just come out. And that album I really got into, and there's not a lot of people I know that like the last album they make is just as good as, their earlier stuff. And that album is just as good and profound, if not more in certain ways than some of the stuff I've heard. So I guess I kind of went backwards with that album and then getting into him from CJ,
Yeah.
CJ was always going to play some Prine, So I guess that's how I got into him.
I'll let you guys talk too, but you mentioned That's the Way the World Goes Round, and I wish I was wearing shorts right now because I have a recent Happy Enchilada tattooed on my thigh.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. Yeah, that song hits in so many places.
Yeah. It's a fun explanation, especially when I had to explain it to my mom. She's like, what in the, I don't know if, I can't cuss up here, what in the heck is that? And she's like, how drunk were you when you got that tattoo? I was like, I planned it.
Well, like when you write a lyric, you just never know what someone else is going to hear. And I think it's fun to laugh about those situations.
Yeah.
Man, I grew up being aware of all of John's iconic songs, hearing them on the radio, Paradise and Angel from Montgomery, but I don't think it was until I became friends with CJ here that he encouraged me to take a deep dive, and I have, and I'm really glad I did, and it's been a really rewarding project getting deeper into his catalog and working up some of the old favorites and also maybe a few of the lesser covered songs. But yeah, it's been a wonderful journey getting to know his music more.
Well, like CJ, I definitely heard his music a lot growing up and was always aware of him. But sometimes when you just hear your parents' music, you don't always take a look into it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I got an awesome opportunity to see him at the Telluride Bluegrass Festival, which is already such a gorgeous place. And I just remember that show very vividly. He really could cast a spell on the audience and just, make every single person have the warm and fuzzies. So definitely a show I'll never forget.
That's a good way to describe John.
Yeah.
That's no good. I guess something that's I know we're pretty curious about is just the process of taking John Prine songs and bluegrassing them up and making them Wook style. So I don't know if someone wants to walk us through sounds like a fun process, an interesting one. Walk us through what that was like.
Well, something that the Wooks, I feel like might be kind of signature to the sound is the way that we interpret cut time songs with bluegrass instrumentation. And I feel like a lot of the songs that John does are kind of cut time, kind of a boogie, funky feel, and a lot of them we just haven't changed. We've just tried to keep it with that feel and our instrumentation, and just tried not to alter them too much. And there's a few that we might have tweaked a little bit. I feel like Prine might have had some bluegrass influence in his writing. I feel like that music was around when he was coming up, and I'm sure he listened to it.
Definitely. And that's got to be part of that connection to this region.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, John's had mandolins and fiddles and dobros all over his records, and there's certain guys that kind of rock that still have this bluegrass. A good song can be, any genre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But honestly, John's music clearly has a respect for traditional bluegrass music within it. It's just the cool thing about John's lyrics is he doesn't always write from that in your face clear cut interpretation kind of thing. In fact, a lot of times in rehearsal we're sitting there trying to figure out what he's talking about. And it's so much fun because you can kind of make it you can interpret it how you need to interpret it that day to, like I said, make your day a little better.
Yeah.
So it's fun to take that lyrical approach and put it into bluegrass, and it works.
Yeah, what was the one we were trying to figure out yesterday? How naked get neutered?
Yeah, if anyone knows what howl naked get neutered means from Bruised Orange, you can come see us after the show. We'll give you a free T-shirt.
Yeah. I like to say using simple words, he can say something really complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything to add from you guys down there?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just love playing dobro over his music. I just, his songs and his, just the sound with all of his records just makes me think of electric guitar, slide guitar. I played a lot of electric guitar before I played dobro, and just that loose song, but also sound, but also being able to have such colorful lyrics and that paint such a clear picture that you can kind of depict for yourself, and then trying to just add to that with your instrument as if it's another brush or color in the palette. So
right.
Well, we should probably start to wrap things up so that we can get ready for Brother Smith to kick things off here. But before we go, I want all of you guys to answer this one for us. Out of the two sets that you're going to be playing tonight, you can pick one of your guys' songs, or you can pick one that you've put the Wook's interpretation on of John's. What song are you most excited to play for everyone tonight?
For me, it would be the title track off the new album, Flying High, because it's a tune that I got from that I wrote about some friends of mine, and they're really cool people, and I wanted to kind of put them in a song for years because I was always Pam and Jim Bob and Chubb and Rose, they're the coolest people I've ever come across. So that's my answer.
Yeah, I guess of the Prine stuff that we've we've got going on tonight. One of them is a song that we've actually been doing for a while, and on an upcoming album that's coming out, it's one of the only covers that we have on the album is a Prine song. It's called Iron Ore Betty, and we kind of have put our own spin on his version. He originally cut the song, and the awesome mandolin player Sam Bush actually played electric guitar on it, which we found out earlier, which is kind of cool because he's like the man. Yeah. But so I don't know. That's always a fun song to play. I guess I'm looking forward to that one.
Well, man, I don't want to give away too many of our Prine choices tonight, but one of my favorite Prine songs that I became aware of over the course of this project is the great tune "Hello in There," and it's one of his masterpieces. And cat's out of the bag. We're gonna do it for you tonight. So I'm really excited to play that one.
Awesome.
Well, I guess I might reveal one more in this, but picture show, and I might just be hungry and thinking about cheeseburgers, but yeah.
Well, that's cool that you guys all are excited for the John Prine.
I wasn't
set.
going to give any of them up, but you guys let the cat out of the bag.
Okay, yeah.
Well, people showed up early out there,
I
so
gave you the
Y'all
option.
deserve
get
it.
some
Y'all
get a
deserve
little
the
reward for
inside
them.
look.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for sitting down
Thank
with
you.
us. For those listening out there, we are the Hippies and Cowboys podcast. This is our first ever live on a stage podcast, and I don't know, maybe the only one ever.
We'll see.
We'll see what the future holds, but thank you again to Master Musicians Fest for letting us do this. Thank you to the Wooks for sitting down with
thank
us.
y'all.
And we are so excited for this festival and to see you guys play tonight. I don't know if Garrett has anything to add to sign
Not
off.
much to add to that. I hope everybody out there is ready to have a good time today, and everybody give it up for the Wooks.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Those
See you later.
people out there, we will have a merch booth out there too. I think you guys, the Wooks will have one as well. So be sure to stop by and say hey, and yeah, pray for the rain to hold off all weekend.
That's right.
But
And thanks, guys.
Thanks. Cheers, y'all.